G'day. David, the author, the man from down under, for all the men's room, is asking what happened to Phase 4. Now, Phase 3 was 11 films, grossed $13.5 billion at the global box office, received positive reviews from critics and fans alike. Endgame was the highest grossing film of all time. Chris Evans became a star along with Tom Holland. And all from a budget of, well, studio-wise, possibly $2.4 billion. But remember, they also spent billions on marketing, but still profitable, successful. And it cemented Kevin Feige in the hearts and minds of fans as the man who turned Marvel around. It's been just over 25 years since Marvel's Captain America, one of the biggest box office flops of all time, back in the 90s. The MCU has come a long way. Now, the Marvel Cinematic Universe started humbly, but Disney saw the potential, and right or wrong, they wrestled it from the controls of Marvel and everybody else, distributors over at Paramount, and helmed it to greater successes than people originally ever thought a superhero movie could be. They redefined the superhero movie, not just as Superman bumbling around trying to, or Batman just going on a violent murder spree, along with the Joker on a violent murder spree. They introduced a diverse range of characters. And technically, loads and loads of characters, a trope popular with anime, really did not sit well with most audiences until now, and the MCU became the largest and most successful movie franchise. Now, as a franchise, it is yet to catch Pokemon. Pokemon has grossed over $70 billion in its lifetime. But the MCU will make history, and it will continue. But what happened with Phase 4? Well, you had Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals. Now, Black Widow, I think we can all agree, should have been in place of Captain Marvel. There should not have been a Captain Marvel movie then. Should have been now. It should have been kicking off the new phase. Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, poorly marketed in my mind. Eternals, poorly marketed, and it was a bumbling superhero movie. It was characters with too much power who the only way to nerf them was to have them bumbling around. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, riding the coattails of Doctor Strange's previous success, Thor Love and Thunder. Now, like it or not, as much as Thor Ragnarok was criticized, it made $800 million. What happened? People said, a funny Thor, a flashback Thor, possibly once. But Goofy Thor, no. People didn't want the Goofy Thor. They wanted King Thor. And this is a theme that has started to really show in the TV shows, where they offer you Hawkeye, give you female Hawkeye. Offer you Moon Knight, give you other characters. Offer you WandaVision, the first couple of episodes, really great. It wasn't too goofy. But what happened? Well, they had a narrative problem in that she was the villain and they just wouldn't say it. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We got side stories we didn't want. We got a bad person they tried to make us sympathetic to, and we just couldn't relate to her first world problems. And most of her problems were merely fixable by her putting more effort into relocating herself and using her successes for others. No, she could have been the hero. It was, Senator, you must do better. And it's like, how is this my fault that she took herself out of Britain for some reason and stuck herself in the middle of nowhere? Unexplained stories. And the box office reflects this. Spider-Man, good story, popular character, nearly $2 billion. Doctor Strange, popular character, a wee bit of problems that a few people didn't like. Ultimately, less fans of the MCU turned out, but more than the last movie. So 2 narrative successes. But then you had Shang-Chi, unknown movie. Eternals, unknown movie. Thor: Love and Thunder is going to set the box office record for the biggest drop in history since Captain Marvel. And Black Widow. Nobody wanted to see Scarlett Johansson after what happened with her character. I think people were actually genuinely traumatized over losing her. And they didn't want to see the movie they should have got before because they know it was just introducing another character. Doctor Strange focused mostly on Doctor Strange. Same with Spider-Man. The Eternals, there was no character to focus on and there was no team to focus on. For Love and Thunder, you spent half the movie wondering which movie they're going to give us. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is supposed to be Shang-Chi's movie, not side characters' movie. If it was going to be the side characters' movie, find another name. And the Legend of the Ten Rings? What's the legend? A 5-minute intro. Oh, wonderful. I think the intro is great, but it should have been a series of flashbacks told by father to son at the end. The legend should have been, hi, I'm trying to get away from my father. Why? No, he shouldn't have. There was nothing there that suggested a great rift. No. There should have been a scene at the start. Teenage Chang saying to his father, hey, I want to see the world. You know, you've got a wonderful paradise here, but I want to see this world that you're protecting me from. You know, I see TV, I see you go out, I hear your men talking. Give me a chance, Dad. And he says, all right. No flashy stuff. No money. No wealth. No power. But people are going to be watching you. So don't play up. Don't give me a bad name. All right. He should have idolized his father because he doesn't know anything else. And then he should have started enjoying the life. And his father said, well, my life is not his life. You know? There should have been a more positive movie there. And I think it would have doubled the box office. And it should have been a phase of... This would have been better as a series because it had several phases. You had the father and son phase. You had the father and mother stage. All of those made good movies on their own, which means it would have been a better series on its own. Marvel has focused solely on the money. And yes, it is the fact that we are trained to go to the movies, to pay more to see a movie than we do for TV. So the money is driving. But most people genuinely agree Marvel is learning the hard way that post-Avengers Phase 4 encores are not easy. Box office receipts prove this out. Thor Love and Thunder didn't get the money they wanted, let alone expected. Cinema grade scores, although unreliable, generally reflect that Phase 4 is the worst. And that MCUs that premiered in the last 12 months have gotten lower scores overall. But the thing is, most people say, and have been confirmed, the MCU does not have a plan. It all hinges on the popularity of two things. The movie that came before and how much a talked about upcoming movie. What is coming next? Because they put out a somewhat guideline to a phase, but then nothing happens. People know there's no directions. People know that they've hinged on nostalgia for a long time. Black Widow was bland. And we also, another thing sticking in people's mind, all the cancelled shows. Now they wrapped up Phase 4 a year early. They cut Phase 5 to 2 years and Phase 6 to 2 years. Now the multiverse is tiresome. It's retcon, reboot, reimagining. It's everything Orwell warned us, and I think that is what's sticking in people's mind, even if they can't put their finger on it yet. They're getting the same Marvel problems that were plagued the comic book. Marvel Comics should have finished 40 years ago. What did they do? They reimagined, rebooted, and resold the same comics over and over again for 50 years. Though they really, at times, did it good with Spider-Man and really flopped with Black Panther, Captain Marvel. So there's a huge range of... And plus there was always something for somebody. You didn't have to see the entire Marvel catalogue. You only had to focus on what you wanted. And I think that is what's happening now. People have settled in that Marvel's here to stay for a long time. So what do? They're not going to see everything. They're just going to see their favourites. And if their favourites don't appear, you'll see that in the box office. And even if their favourites do appear, if it's a bait and switch, you'll see the disappointment. You'll see the cancellations of Disney. And I think Disney's going to realise they've got a budget for movies that are only going to make $500 million, not budget and hope their movies will make $1 billion. This has been the author, David Applegate, for The Men's Room. Catch us on Coffee and Gaming. Bye now.